Hey everybody, if anybody's out there that wants to have a little chat about the economy, unemployment, I've been there. I know how you feel. My career ended 4 years ago here in Moncton. I was a corporate guy for 24 years. And I've just, through that experience, it's given me a different perspective on kind of what's going on. And, you know, I feel for everybody in this province. There's, the latest statistics are saying we got 11% unemployment rate. Age 25 and under, we're at 22% unemployment rate. So we've got some issues there what we need to talk about. We need to get these out, and we need to kind of understand what's going on. You know, one of the most alarming stat that came out last week was we have suicide rate is up 12% in this province. And they're saying the number one cause is financial. People are losing their jobs. They don't have hope. And we need to give people hope. We need people to understand what's going on in the economy, and we need to understand how they can improve their financial situation. You know, we tend to think as people that somebody owes us a job. The government should give us a job. And those days are over. We have a situation now where basically the middle class is gone. We have poor and we have rich. And the manufacturing jobs, all those jobs are gone and they're not coming back. So we need to understand how are we people going to survive in this economy. It's kind of interesting when you look at some of the statistics. Is New Brunswick as a region, in the world, we've got the high-speed internet connections of all regions in the world. We have high-speed internet going into schools, we have them going into homes, and we have them going into businesses. We are well connected to the World Wide Web. So what's happening here is we as people are feeling powerless. We're hearing the stats on the lack of jobs. We're seeing situations, but there's a hidden economy out there. The gross domestic product for New Brunswick has been up every year for the last 4 or 5 years. So we're producing more, but we're also producing more unemployment. So what's happening? Drive out to the airport and you look at the luxury car dealerships. These guys have all gone out to one area, multi-million-dollar buildings. Their sales are up. Precision Acura as a company just moved out there. Their sales are up. Who's buying these vehicles? If we have that much unemployment and our GDP's up, where's the money coming from? Who's spending it? Somebody out there is spending it. And I know who they are. And this is what I'm here to talk to you about, is who are they, what are they doing, and how can we start to model that and understand how are they creating such significant financial gain and we're not, the rest of the people. You know, the other interesting thing with all the internet connections, everything, GDP's up, we are also rated lowest in economic performance of all provinces in Canada and 16 developed countries. So we have all this technology at our fingertips, but we're not using it. So what we have here is a hidden economy, and I don't know if anybody knows who Robert Kiyosaki is. Robert Kiyosaki wrote a book called The Cash Flow Quadrant, and I'm going to hand out a copy of this here, but I wanted to just explain it to everybody because this is where the money is. What we have here, CJ, you can hand that out for me? It's in the bag there. You guys can have a copy of it, but what Robert talks about is there's 4 quadrants to make money. The top right hand is an employee, which is typically what we've experienced as middle class people. We get a job, we go to school, get an education, get a job, and we retire in that job. Those days are over. The next quadrant is self-employed. We go out and we start a business. So we see lots of businesses out there. What happens there is it's basically, in most cases, it's another job. We're working even harder than we were working in our job. So we're basically trading hours for dollars. A lot of people who run typical bricks and mortar businesses are working very hard. They're working twice as hard as any employee. What Robert Kiyosaki says is the people who are creating wealth, especially in this province, are over in the right-hand quadrant. It's understanding how to get yourself into that right-hand quadrant to start to create some income, some wealth. And really what's happening is it's business owners that understand how to create leverage. They have multiple employees, multiple salespeople, and they're creating income off other people's efforts. So when you look at who's buying the luxury vehicles, who's building the nice big homes, who's creating the cash in this economy, it's typically business owners. And the other person is investors, people who have apartment buildings, people who have property that they're renting out. Owning a home doesn't create an income, it's an expense. Owning multiple family homes, apartment buildings, those types of things, it's those people that are driving our economy today. So what we need to do is we need to understand how to move from employee and a business owner over to the right-hand quadrant. And it's understanding that, and what it really takes is a change in mindset. I know that because I was an employee. I've been a business owner, and I've moved myself to that quadrant. It takes some understanding on how to get there. It's getting around those types of people, but first of all, we need to know who they are. When you look at the province, an example here, when we talk about trends, it's understanding trends. So when you get into, what area of business do I get into? How do I tap into that? We really need to understand what are the trends in the marketplace, what's happening. An example I'll give you is Owens, Illinois. I came in my world from the industrial supply business. A lot of manufacturing was our customer. Those manufacturers are gone, so my job was eliminated through downsizing and so on. But in Shediac, we had a bottle manufacturing plant that was there for almost 40 years here in this province. Employed 200 people. In 2008, they closed that plant, laying off 200 people here in our community. Okay? When you really understand what happened was they made bottles. At that time, Owens in Illinois made 1 in 3 bottles, glass bottles, that was consumed in the world. What we went to, if everybody remembers, we used to drink beverages in glass bottles and we switched to plastic. That was a trend. So Owens, Illinois had to deal with that trend. They had other plants around the world that made plastic. So what they did was they closed that plant. That the same year, they closed one in Toronto and one in British Columbia. It was almost 1,000 people out of work because of a trend. We as consumers changed our buying habits. Manufacturing had to deal with it. Back 20 years ago, when I was a corporate guy in product sourcing, there was a big trend in distribution to move to overseas sourcing. It was a race to who could get the commodity products from China the fastest, because that's where the money was. Up until that time, money was being made in manufacturing, especially here in North America. But like a standard work glove, you could buy from a Canadian manufacturer for $3. 20 years ago, we started sourcing them for 50 cents out of China. So the manufacturers in North America couldn't compete, so what did they do? They either left to go to China, or they just closed their businesses. So then what happened was the money started being made in distribution. Because now I could sell the product at $3 into the marketplace and I bought it for 50 cents. So it started to shift. Then what's happening now when you look at it, we're all buying products online. So what we're going to see as a trend going forward, I put a post on my Facebook yesterday, just a question, who in the last month, out of all my friends on Facebook, who's bought something online? Amazon, all these sites, right? If you think about it, you're buying something online, you're bypassing the retail store. So you look at Amazon's been around since 1994. Last month, they actually surpassed Walmart as the largest retailer in the United States. They have no stores. It's shipped from a warehouse to your home. So every time we buy something and have it shipped, we think it's a great deal, but we got to realize that we're actually impacting the retail stores. So what you're going to start to see, especially in the United States, you're going to start to see probably in the next 5 to 10, 15 years, Walmart start to reduce their footprint of stores. They're going to reduce the size, the employee base, because they're losing business. They're right now on a race for online sales. They're not focusing so much on their bricks and mortar businesses. So we actually have a trend happening that consumers are buying more and more online. So it's understanding what are those trends out there, where's the money being made, and getting into the right-hand side of that quadrant and finding opportunities as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, to tap into some of those trends early on and be positioned to start making money. Instead of sitting around waiting for our government, waiting for somebody to create thousands of jobs to put everybody back to work, it's not going to happen. We can't compete manufacturing in North America now with a global economy, with technology. Technology has just displaced everything. And what we're finding now, even companies who are in business are finding technology has actually streamlined their ability to do business, and they need less employees. So we're able to do more with less now. So the other interesting fact is when you go back 100 years ago here in this province, the population was 350,000 people. Today it's 750. We've more than doubled our population. So we went through a whole economic boom of a 100-year period, manufacturing, unionization, great wages, all those kinds of things. And now all that's shrunk back down almost to we're getting back to basics. farmers markets and things like this that we got to create income, and we have more than twice the amount of people. That's why we're seeing all these people unemployed. So what we need to do is get people start to think about what are other ways that I can create income. So you go back to my situation, I was laid off 4 years ago, and I became a home-based entrepreneur. I do business on a global scale right from my home. I had somebody call me from California yesterday. So it's understanding that we don't have to work within the confines of the province. With the internet, with technology, we have the world at our fingertips. We are the most high-speed, broadband connected province region in the world. Why can't we utilize that? Right? You know, everybody's got one of these. Everybody's probably on Facebook. 1.4 billion people on Facebook and growing all the time. There's no challenge to try to find people to talk to. People that may need your products and services. It's understanding those trends, tapping into that, and offering that to the marketplace, and creating an income around that. How am I doing? So really, we need to go from feeling powerless of helping ourselves to empowering ourselves and finding those opportunities and getting around those people who are actually moving and shaking and hustling in the marketplace and understand what are they doing. Where are you creating an income to buy the luxury cars? What's happening out there? And how can I move from the left-hand quadrant to the right-hand quadrant? You know, it's time for us as people to really start to grow up and understand what we need to do to take accountability and responsibility for ourselves. The challenge I think we have is we just don't know where to go to get that. We don't know who's going to help us, who's going to mentor us, who's going to coach us to do that, who's going to get us out of our comfort zone beyond what we always thought we had to do was find a job and things would be fine. You know, there's another chart that I've got here. When you look at the actual distribution of wealth, you know, most of the wealth right now is in this category. There's no middle class left. We think about these jobs, these manufacturing, $30, $40, $50 an hour jobs. In a global economy with our technology, we just can't compete when we have low-cost sourcing manufacturers. You know, you look at Walmart became the biggest retailer in the world. They never made anything. Where were their products coming from? We were consuming those products. We rushed to Walmart as fast as they rushed to China to get it. And we got to understand as consumers, we're creating this world we're in, but we can also create our own opportunity within that. We just need to know where to go to find it. When it comes to what I do, you know, I'm a vendor in this market. What I do with that, I invite you to come and take a look at it, but you know, we're offering a trend product, you know, matcha. I'm not here to do a pitch or anything, but it's really to give you an example of it's a trend. Matcha is a trend, it's a consumer beverage. People are drinking pop, Pepsi, coffee, those types of things. They're looking for something else. What can I get that's better for my health, that gives me the same immediate energy, feeling, satisfaction? And that's one product that we have. So, you know, it's trying to find something that there's a trend for and tapping into that trend and creating an economy around that. So it's really just understanding that. Foreman? So anyways, if anybody has any questions, I hope I was added some value here. Anybody have any questions? No questions.
What's trending right now?
Pardon me?
What's trending right now?
What's trending? Well, you know, it's interesting. I think the big thing what's happening is the consumer direct world. You know, when you look at probably one of the biggest trends is health and wellness. We have an aging population. You know, people are really looking at their health. They're realizing that, you know, this pill and surgery thing isn't working. You know, we have a real health crisis here in this province. And it's finding things that people are looking for that actually improves that situation and adds value back to them, and something that they'll get some value from and they'll share it with other people, right? So I'd say that for me, and that's why I'm in that wellness business, and there's lots of areas that you could tap into that. I'd say that's probably the biggest trend.
You mentioned moving from the left quadrant to the right quadrant, and to do that we need mentors or people to talk to kind of learn those skills. Where do I go to find those skills?
Hey, that's a great question. So, you know, in my business, I teach people. I'm in the direct sales business. I'm the mentor and I'm the coach, and we have a team of people. So somebody that joins into our business, we coach and mentor them. The challenge is, as a traditional business owner, it's hard to find those. You have to hire them. You have to become friends with somebody who owns a business that will take the time and coach and mentor you. So there is a challenge of finding those, depending on where you're going, what type of industry you're going into. How do I, or just in general? Well, it depends on the business. But I mean, social media is the best. It really is. How else can you get access to 1.4 billion people? It's understanding how do you do it in the right way that will attract the people that you're looking for. And again, that goes back to the coaching and mentoring. But, you don't need to put ads in newspapers. When you look at where are people's attention today? Right? Are they on TV? Are they listening to the radio? Or are they on social media? Right? So it's really understanding, and how do I go there where those people are and market it? I know, I see you, we're friends on, so I see what you're doing. And so it's using Facebook, social media, Twitter, it's accessing some of those technologies that really cost you nothing and getting that information out there. We use social media just to talk about this, right? Is that good? So I invite you guys to take a look. We're over behind the stage, across from the stage, behind the seating there. Come on over and you can do a taste test on our drink. And if you want to have another chat, I got all kinds of stats here and stuff that I didn't go over because of the time and everything. But sometimes I like to get into some of the details, and can't do that into this situation. But yeah, thank you very much.